What's up, fam? Happy New Year to all, and here's to an amazing 2020. My name's Elias, you're watching Fireforge Gaming, and today I'm going to try something a little different. Now, I've wanted to break into talking about video game news and information for a while now, so I'm starting a new weekly segment that I call Hot Takes, where I take just a few pieces of news and information that I like about video gaming or the video game industry, and I give my knee-jerk reaction to them, or a hot take. And I do that in a sort of semi-scripted format. So if you like this video, if you want to see more hot takes in the future, be sure to hit that like button and let me know, as that's how I gauge what content people are most interested in. And before I get started, I want to talk a little bit about our sponsor, me. The Wren and the Raven is the very first published novel from freshman author Elias Radcliffe, and it's available now as an ebook from Amazon Kindle. If you like high fantasy, swords and spells, and a bit of mystery, check out The Wren and the Raven on Amazon Kindle today. And with all that out of the way, let's talk about some stuff. There's been some talk about the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 game, and CD Projekt's plans for post-launch monetization. There's been a lot of assumption that this refers to microtransactions, that post-launch monetization refers to microtransactions, and that immediately puts people off, and I understand that, but it's important to note, I think, that the word microtransactions never actually comes up when the developers are talking about Cyberpunk 2077 or post-launch monetization for the game. Post-launch monetization itself doesn't just mean microtransactions. It could mean, full-fledged DLCs and expansions for the game. CD Projekt has a pretty good track record for post-launch monetization, at least as far as I'm concerned. I remember the Witcher 3 DLC was, the DLC that you paid for. There was a lot of DLC that they just gave for free, and that was some pretty substantial, content. There's a lot of cosmetic content and quests, extra quests you could go on, and then they had two actual full-length expansions that they charge for a pretty fair price. As far as I'm concerned, CD Projekt is trustworthy as a company as far as post-launch monetization goes. I understand the impulse that most people have to immediately shun this game or have mixed feelings about this game, immediately upon hearing the word microtransaction, or upon hearing the word post-launch monetization. I get that and I understand that, but I think that we need to take that into context of the company's track record as well. And this company has a pretty good track record, so I'm keeping an open mind for this. But I will keep an eye on it. Moving on, Anthem is being revisited. EA and BioWare apparently haven't given up on Anthem yet, which is great because everybody else has. But it's actually a really good thing. I think it's a really good thing that EA and BioWare are revisiting Anthem and trying to figure out how to make it actually a good product and a worthwhile product. So this is an excerpt from a Kotaku article written by Jason Schreier. Recent silence and a couple of high-profile departures from BioWare have led fans and pundits to speculate that the studio has abandoned its most recent game, Anthem, but the opposite is true. For the past few months, BioWare and parent company EA have been planning an overhaul of the online shooter, according to 3 people familiar with those plans. Some call it Anthem 2.0 or Anthem Next. I really hope that they don't call it Anthem Next. Moving on. Many of the details are still in flux, and there's no clear timeline for the Anthem Next project just yet. In fact, from what I've heard, the developers at BioWare haven't even decided how it'll be distributed. They're still figuring out whether updates should be released all at once or over an extended period of time. Anthem could be overhauled through a series of updates a la No Man's Sky. It could get a game-changing expansion like Destiny's critically acclaimed Taken King. Most of Anthem's biggest systems, its mission structure, its loot, its world, will change drastically. but the developers have not yet figured out exactly what that will look like. They're even considering releasing Anthem next as a brand new game, although those who work on the project said that could take a lot of form, and it's unlikely they'll charge full price to Anthem players. So that's great news. That actually is really great news, because Anthem's launch was rough to say the least, and then its post-launch upkeep was severely lacking. I think the last update they ever made was that Shaper Storm one, right? Or the Cataclysm, where it wasn't really anything, right? It was just like a souped up horde mode or something. I don't know. I didn't play the game because the launch was so bad and it just never got better. but again, yeah, there's no actual details yet on anything, like on the content or on the rollout or any of it. But if they do plan on just updating existing content, they really can't charge current players or anyone who currently owns the software or has bought the software. They can't charge those people for it. If they want to charge, they may as well end up releasing a brand new game, which again, that's another thing I'm all for. If they want to release a brand new game and just kind of start from scratch and just really build a good game this time around, I'm all for that too. So yeah, this is all good news, and it should be only something that makes you feel good. And for some reason, Jason Schreier just doesn't feel like feeling good, apparently. Because in this article, he goes on to snub people who think that Anthem is dead. Here, this is another quote from the article. "The one thing that's for sure is that BioWare has not abandoned Anthem, despite the recent breathless declarations that the game is dead. There are few better ways to get views on YouTube than declaring Anthem to be dead." Okay. Here's the thing. It's great that BioWare is trying to revive the dead game that is Anthem. But Anthem is a dead game. Nobody's playing it because it's a dead game, and it's not our fault. It's not YouTubers' fault that Anthem is dead. We didn't kill the game. It was a terrible game and nobody wanted to play it, so they stopped playing it. But you don't get to say that Anthem is not a dead game because they're trying to bring it back to life. It's still a dead game, and I dearly hope that they bring it back to life and make it something worthwhile. But it's not our fault that it's dead. It's a dead game, and we're not to blame for that. BioWare is to blame for that. EA's to blame for that. But not us. Not YouTubers. Not people who told you it was a dead game. New World is the very first game from Amazon Games, or Amazon's game publishing arm. And it's an MMO, a brand new MMO, which excites me because I've been looking for a new MMO for a long time. I think the last MMO I played was Guild Wars 2, which, Jesus, you'd think I'd found something better to do with my time, but I haven't. A couple of things that we do know: it's an MMO that features social systems that focus on clan building and organizations. It sounds like it has a lot to do with claiming an area and building a base with your clan, and surviving other clan attacks and clan wars, as well as braving the wilderness and getting rare supplies and crafting abilities, and being able to build your base up bigger and better, and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. That's a cool kind of a cool way to make your game social, and I'm pretty excited about that. It's almost like building your own social hub and then having your social hub be in danger and you have to defend it. I like that. The game itself lacks the traditional class or vocational system, where you're a berserker, or you're a wizard, you're a rogue or something like that. You instead you equip your character with a particular weapon, and that weapon has the progression system. So like if you equip the sword and shield, then the more you use the sword and shield, the better you get at it. And if you switch off the sword and shield to another weapon, then you have to start progressing that particular weapon, which I also like. I think that's a pretty cool way to handle progression and make it sort of unique in the MMO space. So yeah, New World looks like a new MMO that I might be interested in. Yeah, this is one I'm going to be looking at closely, and I think they're entering their closed beta phase this spring, I think in April. So yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on that. So yeah, that's all for Hot Takes. That's the first episode of Hot Takes. Guys, let me know how I did, and let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about for the next Hot Takes that'll take place next week. I'll hammer out the specific days, or afternoons that I'll upload my hot takes. But yeah, you guys go ahead and leave comments. Hit that like button if you like this video, if you think this is a good format, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.